Good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday, the 3rd of March, and we are thinking about writing an opening today for our story of the arrival. Now, you're imagining your new character. It might be the man, it might be someone else, it might be a small child, it might be somebody your age, and you're going to imagine that they are arriving at this city for the first time. First of all, we have got some spellings. Now, we've got lots of words with silent letters, and there are loads more than I've written on the screen. So what I'd like you to do is copy down these spellings, please, in your best, most careful handwriting. And then once you've done that, have a little internet search or in a dictionary maybe. Can you find some more words with silent letters in them? So pause the video now, give yourself maybe 5 minutes to copy these down and do a bit of research of your own and find some words with silent letters. Off you go. Okay, so we have got here some words with silent letters, and what I would like you to do is to sort them into the correct column. Now, I've already done a couple for you just to show you what I mean. So we've got words like night, knock, what, wriggle, gnome, honest, crumb, wrist, wreck, sword, doubt, and you are going to sort these words into the correct column. So you will need to write out these 5 headings, please. Silent K, silent W, silent B, silent H, silent G, and silent C. So your next job is to sort these words into the correct column. Now, I've written a couple out and I'm going to cross them off as I go. So I've done night, which is silent K. I've done not, which is a silent K. Now you might want to do a bit more orderly than I've done. Right, which is a silent W. We've got lamb and numb, which are silent Bs. So can you sort the rest of these words into the correct column? Pause the video now, give yourself about 5 minutes. Off you go. Okay, hopefully you've got lots of those sorted out. And let's move on to our lesson. So today you're going to write an opening for the arrival. Now you're going to imagine your character is on their way to the city for the first time. So it could be, like I said, it could be a man like we've already got in our story. It might be an older woman. It might be a younger child. It's up to you who you want. Additionally, they don't need to be travelling on the boat. So our main character travelled on the boat, didn't he? You could have yours in a hot air balloon. They could be arriving via a train. They could be walking their way with lots of people. But the thing we're looking for today, strong verbs. So really getting a sense of action there with those really strong verbs, good doing words. Lots of description. So maybe some EMPs, maybe a bit of figurative language, but mostly lots of adjectives in there, so we're describing everything, and some linking phrases, which are just going to knit everything together nicely and make everything tie together, okay? And how we're going to do this is we're going to be thinking about it like this. What can your character hear? What can your character see? And what can they smell? Okay? So on the next page, I've got the scene where our man has arrived on the boat just before they're setting off, okay? And he has noticing lots of things on there. What is he seeing? Well, there's lots of birds. There are these big chimney stacks. It could be some buildings in the distance where the new city is. It could be the city he's leaving behind. It might be the waves crashing. It might be the sunshine. You might want it on a stormy evening. It's up to you. What can he hear? Is it thunder and lightning? Is it the birds chattering? Is it people around him chattering? What can he smell? All sorts of things. It could be pollution coming out of these chimneys. It might be all the bodies together. It might be that he can smell somebody's food that they've brought on board. So write these 3 headings down: see, hear, and smell. And what I would like you to do under each of those headings is jot down some ideas, just as I've talked you through now. So have a go, pause the video. You've got 5 minutes to come up with as many ideas as you can get for each of these headings. Off you go. Okay. So here are some of the things that I've jotted down. We've got, what can he see? I've written huge skyscrapers in the distance, flocks of birds peppering the sky, crowds of people, the bright, blinding sun. I've got huge waves lapping against the ship's hull. Now you might have quite a stormy scene. Excuse me. It might be quite sunny. It could be snowing. It's up to you. What can you hear? I've got the gentle flap of birds' wings, the loud chatter of the passengers, and you can hear that sound of the boat cutting through the waves as well. And finally, what can our main character smell? I've got the fresh sea air smoke from the chimney, the sweat of the bodies packed closely together. And like we said previously, could it be that they are smelling some food on board that somebody's cooked or something like that? Okay. Hopefully you've got loads of ideas. If you want to steal any of these, feel free. So here we have our example. And as I'm reading, you need to check for these things. Some strong verbs. So instead of walking, how is he moving? Is he sauntering or is he crawling or what? Some good description, making it really vivid for our readers, placing them there in this setting, and some linking phrases. Okay, I'm going to read this through for us, and you can jot down some ideas as you go and having a look for the success criteria. Stepping onto the boat, the man felt a rush of nervous excitement. The cool spray from the sea breeze gently caressed his cheek as the gulls chorused above him. This was the chance he had been waiting for. Aboard the ship, the hustle and bustle never died. Crowds of families and lone travellers were squeezed onto the ship's deck. The man wandered around aimlessly, looking for a spot to rest for a little while. He finally found an upturned crate, trapped in between a tangle of fishing nets. He sat down, turning his face to the fading sunlight. Hours later, he woke with a start. The man hauled himself up and looked over the ship's railing to the burning lights beyond. There it was, the big city. Huge buildings and towering statues loomed in the distance, commanding the skyline. He wondered as they grew ever closer, what adventures would be waiting for him there. And I finished mine there. You can feel free to carry on if you'd like when he arrives, but remember it's only an opening. So we've got him wondering, and my next scene would probably be him there. So 3 paragraphs is perfect. So we're looking for some strong verbs first of all. What colour should we do our strong verbs? Light blue. So we've got this rush of excitement. The breeze caressing his cheeks. You could have stroking his cheeks. We've got people squeezed onto the ship's deck. He's wandering around aimlessly. Rest instead of sleep. He's turning his face to the sun. We've got the burning lights rather than just the bright lights. Lots of things there. Description. Now, description might just be EMPs. It might be metaphors, similes. We've got the cool spray from the sea breeze. We've got the gulls are chorusing. That's a strong verb as well, isn't it? Rather than writing, singing or talking. We've got hustle and bustle, crowds of families, lone travellers, people on their own. We've got our upturned crate, a tangle of fishing nets. We've got huge buildings, towering statues. They are commanding the skyline. They are in charge. You are coming to their city. They grew ever closer. Okay. Finally, we've got some linking phrases. Stepping onto the boat. We've got aboard the ship. We've got hours later. So any of those sort of front adverbials you might want to use would be useful here. So hours later, in the distance, let's jot some of those down. So we've got in the distance. Oh. comma, we could have beyond the mist. It could be dark where you are. It might be seconds after he woke up. It might be after lunch. It might be when the sun had risen. There's endless possibilities for your linking phrases. Okay, so it is your chance now. Give yourself a good 15 minutes for this, please, to write a really decent opening. Okay, make sure you get all the success criteria in, and do send us your work. We love reading it. Off you go. Good luck.